So now that you've been a promoter for a while, what can you say that bands don't commonly do that can just make your lives so much easier?
Show up on time. Honestly, it's one of those things. I think the people who it's usually the people who don't need to be on time that are usually on time.
Yeah,
So, for example, obviously, loading times, generally speaking, are just like we'd like kind of rather you were here at this time kind of deal.
yeah,
But a lot of people just kind of don't take that into it. They're just kind of, oh yeah, no, we'll just be here when we're here, kind of thing. Right? It's like bright. It doesn't work like that.
yeah.
For the headliners specifically, they're always the people that we want to be on time because we need to check them properly. Their sound is going to be the most important for the
Yeah.
evening. And a lot of times it's the headliners that don't show up on time. So if anyone who's listening, if we book you as a headliner, show up on time, please. Make my life easier.
You heard it here. When you're actually booking bands, like particularly in
Yeah.
your, so with you, it's like hardcore or beatdown bands. What are you looking for in certain bands these days to actually go, yeah, we'll book you, other than them not being shit?
Do you know what? I think it's a big part of it is just kind of how they engage with us. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you engage with us in a polite manner, then we'll engage with you back in a polite manner, and we'll always give everybody a shot. And we always kind of aim to try and see a band before we book them. But if that's not a possibility, then 9 times out of 10 we will just take a blind chance. Like, we've had some bookings that have been a little bit questionable. One other thing that we do as well is reach out to other promoters to see their experiences with said bands.
Okay.
You might want to come back to lobby here, mate.
I was about to say, oh, is that where you've gone? You've gone back to lobby, right?
Yeah, we've gone back to lobby so we can go
So
and
I
get
didn't
faded.
realise. There we go. So I was just saying, waiting for party leader. I was like, I am, and I've readied up. What's going on?
Yeah, come back. There we go. And then just ready up
Yeah,
again and we should be all good
that's
to
cool.
go.
So yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, we communicate a lot with other promoters as well. So we're quite fortunate in regards that guys in Nottingham, we've got guys, obviously friends in London, Liverpool, Leeds, and they're all people that may have worked with some of the bands that come to speak to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we may just drop a message and go, yo, what was your experience like? How was it? Was the turnout decent? Did they perform well? Were they polite, etc., etc.? And it kind of, if we get kind of a, oh, it was all right, but we had this problem, we had this problem, we had this problem, then we'll kind of just, we might swerve it. If it's something that's out of somebody's control, you know, fair enough, like that, you know, shit happens. But if it was just a genuinely bad experience for the promoter, and it could have entirely just been avoided, then that's when we might be like, So there's got to be a musical aspect of it as well. Like, you can be an amazing band, but if you're a dickhead, then I won't deal with you.
Yeah.
If you, do you know what I mean? Like, it's really as simple as that. If you act like a dickhead, we'll treat you like one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Kings of the North, basically.
No, it's good to see that. Yeah, it's good to see that there is that communication level between all of the promoters to actually see what, because basically everyone talks, so you all are, you know, familiar with what bands you can and can't work with, or ones that just, as you say, will cause an issue for whatever reason.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's not worth it for us as a team of people. It just isn't worth it, mate.
Nah, because it'll be a bad experience for you and for the people who come to your show, which could put them off coming to another one of your shows.
Yeah, which we don't want. We want everybody to understand that they're always welcome and available at our shows. Where are we here? Pink. Go to Pink, everyone.
Yeah, we're going to Pink.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we always try and communicate with promoters as much as we can and our friends as much as we can. We've got a lot of really, really wonderful people that we work in networks with. So why would we not want to kind of utilise that and work as a team? The idea is we want the UK hardcore and beatdown scene to grow. We want it to be getting to the levels that it is in other places across the world. And for us to do that, especially when it comes to like outside people who don't really go to hardcore shows or beatdown shows, it just looks like a load of dudes and young ladies and anybody else, however they choose to identify, just looks like they're all scrapping in a room, and that probably does put a lot of people off. So the idea is that we aim to keep everybody as respectful as we can and as polite as we can, etc., just so that it is that little bit more welcoming to people who are coming from an outside kind of perspective on it as well. It makes it a lot more inviting for newcomers.
Yeah, because whenever you do see people like reacting to like hardcore or beatdown sort of like shows at the first time, particularly hardcore pits, just their reactions are always priceless. It doesn't matter who or what they are. It's always like that. Oh my god, they're actually just beating the fuck out of each other. Like, yeah, pretty much.
I think my favourite kind of comment whenever I see that, especially on Instagram and things like that, is people, oh, people wouldn't do that near me in a pit, I'd body them. And it's like, well, go to a hardcore show and try it and just see how it goes, mate. Like, it's not going to end, or it will not end the way you think it will. Just a lot of keyboard warriors, I think. I think that's also a big part of the problem with the hardcore and beatdown scene at the moment is that a lot of the kind of more outside people won't come to a hardcore show and see what it's about. Will quite happily sit there and judge it and talk smack on it and things like that.
Yeah.
Without ever really kind of having been a part of it and coming to check it out. There's a lot of guys. I've got friends at work who are from like more eastern parts of the world.
Yep.
Who have seen videos from what I've shown them, and they've had a look and they've kind of gone, oh, well, that looks interesting, and they've heard some of the music and go, wow, this is really good. It's like exactly.
So
these
to
are guys
to a show.
Exactly. Well, these are guys who are all quite religious as well, so you wouldn't think that, that it'd be something that they were kind of into or that they might have ever experienced in their life, especially from the parts of the world that they come from.
Yeah.
And yet, a lot of them are here for it and kind of see the videos and go, we might not get involved in it, but it does look really good fun.
Yeah.
Like we would like to come and watch it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's good to see that level of support as well. Like you do have. It's almost like a mum and dad coming to see you perform. It's like, well, son, we're not really with the kids on this one, but sure, you do the moshing.
You have a good time. That's all that matters. Yeah, man, that's basically what it is. But that's the kind of stuff that it needs. It needs that more open mind, because I've got friends that understand at hardcore shows and at beatdown shows. It's just how it goes. Even though they don't listen to it, it's not something that they particularly enjoy. They'll still kind of go, well, I know I wouldn't do it myself, but I know what happens there.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So there is that, like you say, that level of understanding and actually open-mindedness, which is so rare.
And there needs to be so much more of it, man, for our scene to kind of really thrive. I know the guys over at the AMHC in Leicester, those guys have been working tirelessly for years to get their scene to where it is now. It would never have been like this before.
Yeah.
It is insane how well they're doing. So shout out to the AMHC.
So you recently hosted Birthday Brawl 2.0.
Yes.
So did the event meet your expectations?
Do you know what? Birthday Brawl definitely kind of didn't just meet our expectations. It was more. It met our expectations in such a positive way, but there was also some negative ways in which it was. It's very difficult to run 2 stages, which is definitely something we have learned from this experience. So it didn't just meet our expectations. It kind of blew them out of the water in every possible way. All the goods that could have happened. Some of the bads that could have happened. It is what it is. But from what I understand, we had a good time. Most of the people had a good time. We also got a lot of feedback that we have absolutely taken on board, ready for our next kind of bigger events. So
that's good.
It's one of those. It's definitely going to be something that we just enjoyed. There was a lot of stress building up to it. The wind down time after it was definitely necessary. We were all a little bit woo-wee after that one. Yeah, it was just very hectic, but very, very good fun. And it was good to see people from kind of all parts of the country traveling for it as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that we as a band know from places where some people came from Scotland, some people came from London. So, and obviously Grasshill came up from Plymouth. They brought a couple of people with them.
Yep.
So there was just quite a diverse group of people there, and it was really, really, really good fun. I did really enjoy it.
Was this your first time running a show across multiple stages, multiple venues? I don't know how the class run because
Yeah. You know, it would be multiple stages. The venues in question where it was being held, which was the Atma and the Pier Hat, those are both owned by the same dude, and they kind of work in conjunctions with each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's absolutely the first time we've ever tried to run an event across 2 stages at one time. Definitely, anyone who can do that fluidly, I just want to open with all my heart say congratulations and well done to you, because it is an absolute nightmare. But yeah, no, that's definitely a really, really good fun. It's something we'd probably give another go at in the future, but one thing we definitely want to do first is make sure that we've got a bigger team with us next time.
Okay. How many were you running it this time? Was it just the 2 of you?
There was a couple of us, and obviously some very close friends and some partners who were all respectively helping us out. and kind of donated some of their free time. They didn't have to,
Yep.
so we do appreciate it. But it's just very difficult when there's two of us that didn't really kind of. I don't want to say we did because we knew what we were doing. It was just a brand new experience for us in the regards to like we say second stage. Like we've never done anything of that scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it really. Like I say, we definitely do stuff like it again, 100%. I don't think there'd ever be a time I wouldn't do it. Yeah, they're
Yep.
all at the Zeus statue. Yeah, I
So,
won't blame Faye for this.
so what things have you learnt about running a show over 2 venues that you will definitely change for the future?
What was that? Sorry, mate.
So after running a event over 2 venues, 2 stages, however you want to word it, and what have you learned that you're going to change for next time?
Ensure that each stage has at least 3 different staff members, 1 artist liaison, 2 people checking wristbands and tickets at the door. It's definitely something that we were a little bit lax on at Birthday Brawl. It's just making sure that everyone's where they need to be at all times and just communicated with well.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, actually went quite smoothly on our end.
That's
Just
good.
yeah, apart from that, it went fairly smoothly on our end. There was delays on the downstairs stage, unfortunately, which
Mm-hmm.
means there was a lot of the crossovers that we'd managed to previously avoid. Unfortunately, kind of did get brought into play. Nothing to do with Kings of the North, nothing to do with the bands. It was entirely down to the venue. But it happened. It's okay. We obviously communicated with the venue. The venue have apologised, and we've all kind of on the same page. Or if we decide to do that again in the future. But we're not sure how we're going to run our next kind of section of events. Definitely a few single stage events. If we're going to do multi-stage events, we're definitely going to do it a bit different the next time.
Faye did say that the light falling on her head wasn't fun.
Yeah, I heard about that afterwards. It was one of those. I
It's one
think
of
there
those
was
things,
like a loose light fixture on top of a monitor, and the monitor got knocked because
That was
people
it,
were
yeah.
mocking it, and it fell on her head.
Yeah, she did tell me about that.
Yeah, I did suggest contacting the venue because you get some compensation for that, but you know
Is what it is.
that would
isn't
have been
it?
a nice new that would have potentially been a nice new camera for her. That
You never know. Where there's a blame, there's a claim.
where there's blame, there's a blame.
So whereabouts do you see the sorry, how high is the bar set for Birthday Bash 3 then?
It's not. We're not doing another one.
You're not?
We've got something a little bit different planned for next year.
Okay.
It's going to be a September event,
Okay.
and we've got some really, really cool bands planned, the majority of which are already confirmed. I
Sweet.
really can't say much more than that, but no one's seen a lineup like this since pre-COVID.
I'm looking forward
Like,
to it already.
It's the level. The level
Okay,
is for
okay.
this is just insane. It's going to be phenomenal.
Okay.
And we've got a cheeky one happening in December as well that we're calling Seasons Beatings.
I like that.
And we are hopefully looking to get that announced pretty soon. We've got a very, very special guest headliner coming for that
Okay.
one. So yeah, it should be a nice fun event.
Yeah, it'd be a good all day that one. Yeah, definitely. Seasons
absolutely.
Beatings. I love the name of that. Manchester seems to be quite popular for actual beatdown shows. Is this because of you guys, or is it because this is where most of the bands are, where the scene's best? What do you think it is?
I think a big portion of, especially with in kind of coming back into play, is some of it is obviously I would put down to Kings of the North, but not all of it. I think a lot of that is, especially when the fact that Beat 'Em Down just happened quite recently, and seeing the turnout that it had, because there was people who came from out of the country for Beat 'Em Down as well. There was people who came from, I met a young lad who came from Spain. There was people who came from Italy. The turnout was like Euro wide. It was insane. I think there was a couple of the guys came over from Philadelphia for it, if I'm not mistaken.
Christ.
So yeah, there was a lot of people who came from just all over the place. So I'm not sure necessarily why it is, but I think a lot of it is to do with how the scene used to be more than kind of how it is now.
Yep.
There's still a lot of the people who were about then who still kind of will travel for the right event, but it's just kind of getting people to travel for the newer bands, I think, is the hardest part of it. So I don't think it's necessarily where the scene is strongest. I would say that the Midlands is probably where the heavy music scene is actually the strongest at the moment.
Okay.
But Manchester's not far behind, say, with people like Kieran DeLarp, Jake Gamble, and ourselves. You know, it's getting back to where it was, and that's what we want, ultimately. Oh, bugger, I'm getting shot. See help.
So, how far do you eventually see taking Kings of the North? Like, how big will you go?
Just as big as people want us to keep going with it, I suppose. As long as we've kind of got the want to do it and the drive to do it. Definitely going for less smaller shows, more kind of bigger ones. Just because that's where people seem to enjoy the most. Like more people seem to enjoy coming out for big days full of bands that they've always loved, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And then what the idea with us is that we want to throw some kind of newer bands into the mix as well. So the newer bands have got the shot and the
Yeah.
shot to play these kind of bigger crowds. We feel that that's going to work better, not only for ourselves, but for these bands as well, as opposed to just kind of giving 4 newer bands a stage to play on.
Yeah, I get that.
While the scene is still kind of recovering from COVID even now.
Yeah.
I'd rather put two or 3 years with Zach, just put 2 or 3 years of work into it and build the scene back up in Manchester, say with these other really good promoters that we work with. And then that's when we can start kind of introducing the newer shows and the newer bands for cheaper door prices and stuff, because then we know the turnouts are going to be better, because between the 3 lots of promotions, the following will be there and the scene will be back to where it should be. Because again, Manchester, you couldn't move pre-COVID for hardcore shows; they were everywhere.
Yeah.
Now it's just if any of our promotions, the guys are able to take it on, and if we're not, then they just don't happen, which is a bit unfortunate, really. But
Yeah, it is. Yeah. First one's going to be a question from a previous guest. So far, what has been your favourite show you've put on? This question comes from Jazz from my previous interview.
Favorite show that we've put on, I think for me, is birthday. I'm not gonna say the most recent Birthday Brawl because it was a really, really, really good show. But for me personally, I think Birthday Brawl 1 was one of my favourite shows because we had this Final Words, Detriment, ourselves, Lethal Minds, and Abuse. You get another band who come all the way down from Plymouth. I think that for me was my personal favourite because it was the first variant of that, and it was at the Alma Inn, and there was a lot of people. There was quite a lot of people there for it. A lot of people had come with the bands as well, and it was a proper little mates fest. We had friends from Bristol, friends from Plymouth, friends from London, and everyone came up and just packed out this really small room at the Alma Inn, and it was just chaotic and good fun. So it was a lot more personal and enjoyable for me in that regard. Whereas Birthday Brawl 2 was obviously quite a larger scale, and it wasn't as easy to be able to just kind of kick back and enjoy ourselves.
I get that. What are your tour life hacks? Now, this could apply to either Kings of the North or Closed Casket. What things have you learnt to do, like little just tiny life hacks where you're like, I need to do this because it will make my life so much easier? Have you got one?
Yes, I've got. Well, I suppose they all kind of gravitate. Take multiple pairs of socks and a spare t-shirt, because there's nothing worse than being sat in a van or a car or on a train, sweaty as hell, in a sweaty shirt with stinky feet. It's not pleasant for you. It's not pleasant for the people around you. Absolutely. Spare socks, spare shoes if you need to, and a spare t-shirt every single time.
Faye has said in chat, and don't agree to do 6 sets on a weekender.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So so when obviously we did the Closed Casket, Expressionless, and Gun Down Weekender, we did 2 of those last year. So we did like northern shows, and then some of the shows were a bit further south.
Yeah.
I was doing the guitar for Expressionless, so I had to do 2 sets a night, 3 nights, and I did that twice. And when we did Nottingham on the first run, which was in the January last year, my hand locked up like on the second to last Expressionless song, and it's pretty much all down-picked 2-step riffs.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of elbow playing in that, and then my arm wasn't right for like a week and a half.
I did that with Depravity and Old Wolf, so I know your pain. Last question. What do you have planned for 2024 in both Closed Casket and Kings of the North? Things you can talk about anyways.
Oh, man. So, Closed Casket, obviously, we're jumping down to Nottingham with you guys tomorrow, which we're looking forward to. It's been nearly a year and a half since we played in Nottingham last.
Okay.
I know we've had a few people asking us to go back there, and now the opportunity's presented itself, so I'm really looking forward to that one. We hit London for the first time next month on the 31st.
Nice one.
Where we'll be hitting Recount, Bite Wound, and Lowlife. If anyone's not
Mhm.
checked out Lowlife yet, absolutely go and give them a listen. They are phenomenal.
Mhm.
They were really, really good at beating them down. Really nice dudes, and they just did a really good job. So, absolutely going. That's just going to be a gig for the ages. That's going to be crazy.
Okay. What venue is this at?
That is at the More Beer Vaults.
Oh,
On behalf of
I
Tombstone Promotions are putting that one on, I believe.
I I think I'm at a show for that at the beginning of June. Actually, there's a show that I'm going to that's the Beer Vaults. One that I've never heard of. I've never heard of that venue before, and then all of a sudden, like a load of bands are suddenly playing it. I'm like, oh, I might have to check this out.
Yeah, I think the guy who runs Tombstone just started booking loads and loads of artists, and
Nice one.
now they've got shows on there 3-4 times a week now. It's kind
Fucking
of just hit
hell.
the map. It's becoming quite a big place to play now.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And then, yeah, what about Kings of the North? Would you have planned for this year? Anything you can say?
We've got a couple of shows coming up. We are putting together a charity show for some time in August at the moment.
Okay.
Well, obviously, which we do hope to kind of share a little bit more about in the near future. We've just got a few bits happening here and there, and then obviously we've got our lovely big event at the end of the year, which we're really looking forward to.
Mhm.
And then for 2025, we're still kind of just getting the final planning stages together, but there's an event we have planned for September, which is just going to be insane. And
That's
we're really
September
looking forward to that one.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's for 25.
Okay.
Let's say 24 is still young, it's still fresh.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any, if any bands listening have got any tour packages, they've got any shows, they've got any UPKs, just drop us a message on our social media, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. See if we've got anything for you.
Fantastic. Right. Anyways, thank you for joining me with this. It's been great having my arse literally handed to me for an hour and a half.
It's the best part of playing the game, isn't it? Because it makes the victories that little bit sweeter.
It does, yeah. Especially after the first time I played this, and I thought I was actually winning, but it seems like the people who beat us are actually about to win the thing.
Yeah, it was bots, bro. I'm sorry. sorry to take that away from you, bro.
That's okay. I felt special for a split second.
For a split second.
But yeah. Anyways, so I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow. Also food. The Angel, the microbrew, actually does really good food.
Oh, the microbrew is a shout. Their fish and chips is brilliant.
Yeah, and they actually do, if you're inclined towards it, they actually do a lot of vegan versions of the food they do. So they actually do a vegan fish finger sandwich, which is really nice.
Oh, that's kind of cool. To be fair, I'm not vegan, but I'm not opposed to eating vegan food.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you don't have to be. But say it's
I don't mind a lot of the stuff. I thank Austin for that one. Austin's made plenty of vegan-friendly stuff over the years. We used to work together in a little bar in the Northern Quarter in Manchester.
So good. But yeah, anyways, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next time with whoever is going to be interviewed next. I'm not entirely sure. I've got a couple of people who I might be going with next. But yeah, anyways, cheers for watching, guys, and see you next time.